Thanks so much, Dylan. Well, that timing with the rain clearing out and temperatures warming up could not be more critical for our next guest. She is here to bring awareness to one of the least understood, but possibly one of the most tragic diagnoses anybody and their family can go through. Amy Watkin is the head of the Huntington Disease.v here in the Northern Plains chapter, and she is rallying people for the upcoming Huntington's Awareness Walk. Thanks so much for coming back to the show this time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we were talking last time, and one of the things you kind of have to acknowledge right off the bat is not that many people seem to understand what Huntington's disease is. Tell me and the viewers again what we're talking about here.
It's best described as having Alzheimer's, ALS, and Parkinson's all at the same time.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty devastating. People start to show symptoms typically in their 40s, so it also affects younger people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Younger people who typically who are young families, right? Kind of hard charging into the top of their career, their top earning years, bigger roles in the community than ever before, and then all of this strikes. How do you first determine typically, like, what are the symptoms? How do they present themselves?
Yeah, it varies widely from person to person, but often memory and cognition first. So you maybe can't think of words as readily as you did before, or you substitute words. You might say garage when you mean car, or you can't follow steps the way you used to. Maybe you can't read books or watch TV series anymore because you can't follow the story.
Oh my goodness.
Things like that. Yeah.
I can hear collectively some of our viewership. You know, the young working parent is typically who we're going to be watching the show, and I can kind of collectively hear them going, I can't remember, because you've got all the tabs open in your browser, so to speak, right? But this is obviously something much more severe. There are ways of diagnosing it here in our community. Tell me about that.
Yes. It's a simple blood test to diagnose. And we are lucky to have what's called a Center of Excellence. It's a Huntington's Disease Society of America, HDSA Center of Excellence right here at Sanford, where a team of healthcare experts are experts at HD. So they are there to help, including all of the counseling and things that you do before you even get tested, just to make sure, because it's such a devastating diagnosis for the whole family that they are going to help people prepare for it as well.
And obviously, there's not much in the way of treatments. No.
Nothing really to mitigate symptoms, certainly nothing to cure it. Yeah.
Right. When you talk to patients who are kind of struggling their way through this, and especially their families, what do they tell you about having this support system here in place in the region?
That it's what's keeping them together, really. You know, the healthcare professionals and then the larger support system, because it's a disease that not a lot of people have or have heard of.
Yeah.
It can be very isolating. So people don't understand it. And, you know, sometimes you might present to the world as intoxicated, for example, when really you're having a movement disorder, you know, and so it can be really difficult to not have that support system. So it's really valuable.
And real talk, like, what are we talking about in terms of life expectancy? If it strikes in your 40s.
Yeah. There's so many variables, of course, but they say 15 years maybe from the time of symptom onset.
Wow. Yeah, so this is a crucial, pressing need for all of these families in our community.
Yeah.
And so far, we've identified about 50 individuals and groups. What are you expecting to see in terms of turnout coming up this weekend? We
are hoping for 100. The forecast looks good. So we're hoping to get 100 people out there to just enjoy the day. Yeah, we'll see. It would help a lot to support those families.
Absolutely. Shine a little bit of a light on a pretty difficult topic that maybe they could use some support with.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Amy Watkin with Huntington's Disease Society, thank you so much for being here. If you are interested in participating, and it looks like the weather is going to be our friend for anything you want to do outdoors, it's coming up this weekend. We'll have all of the information for you on our website after the show, so you can take a look, learn a little bit about a poorly understood diagnosis that could affect somebody you know. That'll be on our website after the show, and we're going to come back and check the weather one more time after the break.